Now, Monday marks the 10th anniversary of the collapse of a factory in Bangladesh that killed over 1,000 people. The 8-storey Rana Plaza on the outskirts of the capital, Dhaka, suffered a sudden structural failure. More than 3,000 people inside the building at the time. The government made some reforms to protect workers in the aftermath, but activists say it hasn't been enough. Let's go to Tanvir Chaudhary, who joins us now from the site of the accident in Savar, which is just outside Dhaka. So, Tanvir, how safe is it for the garment workers in Bangladesh today?
Well, before I get to that, let me show you. This is where the multi-story building Rana Plaza was. And there was at least 5 different garments factory and a shopping center. There's nothing there except some green weeds and plants. And you have a memorial here, the only one for the victims. It's a cement structure of 2 hands with a sickle and a hammer made by the Bangladesh Workers' Party. Now, going back to your question, much has improved in Bangladesh. That has to be said within the last 10 years. That's much to do with international accord and alliance, the International Labour Organization, in coordination with Bangladesh government and Bangladesh Garments Manufacturers Association. They have an independent body called Garments Sustainability Council, which now looks after all this matter. You can hardly get any international order if you don't comply with the compliances, which would be fire safety, escape route, and many other safety conditions that are imposed on the garments factory, and they're regularly inspected by the authorities. Many have been fined, many have been actually shut down since then. Now, going back there was a rally here last night, vigil, there was protest and rally here just about a few hours ago. There were many victims, family members, labor union workers. They said not much has been done actually in terms of compensation for the victims. At least 46% of the labor people who are employed didn't get their jobs back, and this according to ActionAid. Many of them are traumatized, mentally ill. Some are physically challenged, they cannot work. Some of those people got barely $1,000 as a compensation. It was very meager considering the fund that was set up had a huge amount of money, and they still complain that they're not getting the adequate compensation, as well as the minimum wage. The union leaders said the minimum wage is grossly inadequate. It's $95 a month. They cannot live in this high inflation time, post-pandemic era, because cost of living has tremendously gone up, and they're demanding for at least $200 a month. Much needs to be done as far as rehabilitation of those workers who got injured and out of job. So there is a lot of demand by the garment workers, their victims, their families, as well as the unions.
And you're referring to the Bangladesh Accord, which a lot of international retailers, manufacturers signed up to, which you say has made a difference on the ground. But there's still a large number of garment producers, I understand, who haven't signed up to it, like Walmart and Amazon, for example. What impact has that had?
That's very true. And many of the garments factory work on subcontract, and they don't have to meet a lot of this compliance. And as you said, a lot of particularly the American garments, they didn't sign up to that, but they rely on what the Garment Sustainability Council and the Garments Manufacturer Associations provide as a safety concern, along with what the Accord and Alliance did. It did improve the situation, but much needs to be done. It also has to be said that the garments manufacturer said that we are willing to raise the wages and improve the working condition far better as long as the buyers are willing to pay more. They're squeezed, sometimes even to a break-even cost, because they're at the mercy of these global buyers, including big names like H&M, Primex, Gap, and Zara. But they're not willing to do that, and the garment manufacturers are pretty much monopolized by the international global buyers, and they have to give the best they can under the circumstance.
OK, thank you so much for that. Tanvir Chaudhary speaking to us there at the site of that huge accident in Savar, just outside Dhaka.